It has been a long pause again, but today we're going to continue our adventure, if that's okay to name this video in that terminology. However, yeah. Anyways, you look at the passage, you understand that this is a passage too, okay? But the thing is that you also can see that there's a subtitle with a an italic font, and you can see a lot of these kinds of figures. I mean, this is not exactly a figure, but this is a quote sign. So you see a passage two, then the passage two that there's a very high chance there's going to be argumentative because it's all everything is about some sort of opinions and so on and so forth. That means you will just have to understand the author's or I mean, maybe yeah, just basically the author's idea. Anyways, you just find the question. You can see that the this is a matching feature, and there's no point to concentrate on that because you read one paragraph, and then you come back and you see if any of these sentences match with any of the sentences met in the passage. So, however, when it comes to the summary completion, there is a very, but this is a very I don't know how to name that, but I think that summer completion is kind of a 50 to 50 or maybe like 70-30 because some of the times it comes in order, but some of the times it just literally, throws away the answers in different parts. But that's just what I have witnessed so far in the Cambridge tests. Someone may argue that it's quite the opposite. Anyway, we have one word only. That the first thing I really want to see that Professor Alan Short. I want to find Professor Alan Short if I can find that. If I can find him, so I can see John Shaw Billings and Short because it's Alan Short, and Alan Short is somewhere around here. So yeah, there we go. We found that. All right, so what I'm going to do, the first one, the recovery of natural environments in architecture by Professor Alan Short is the culmination of 30 years of research and award-winning green building design by Short and colleagues in architecture, engineering, applied maths, and earth sciences at the University of Cambridge. The crisis in building design is already here, said Short. Policymakers think you can solve energy and building problems with gadgets, and so you can't. As global temperatures continue to rise, we are going to continue to squander more and more energy on keeping our buildings mechanically cool until we have run out of capacity. A pretty interesting thing to name a few. Why some people avoided hospitals in the 19th century. We have 19th century. As suggesting that the popularity of tall buildings is linked to prestige. That means it's kind of it's really connected to showing off your status, kind of money, The comparison between the circulation of air in the 19th century building and in modern standards. So modern standards comparison, and yeah, how Short tested the circulation of air in the 19th century building. So he tested an implication that advertising led to a large increase in the use of air conditioning. All right. So paragraph A, is there anything that we have found? So far, nothing. Short is calling for a sweeping reinvention of how skyscrapers and major public buildings are designed to end the reliance on sealed buildings, which exist solely only through the life support system of vast air conditioning units. Instead, he shows it is entirely possible to accommodate natural ventilation and cooling in large buildings by looking into the past. So, but he's by looking into the past, is making a judgment that it is better to use inventions that were made in the past, prior to the current generation, before the widespread introduction of air conditioning systems, which were relentlessly and aggressively marketed. Okay, relentlessly and aggressively marketed is another way of saying advertising. So question 18 is going to be on the paragraph B. There's a pretty fine one. You can see that the word advertising is paraphrased into a word of marketing, aggressively marketed. So an implication that advertising led to a large increase. Large increase means what is that? Widespread introduction. So yeah. Another one, paragraph C, Short points out that to make contemporary buildings contemporary buildings habitable means modern buildings to be able, so a modern building that is suitable to live. They have to be sealed and air conditioned. The energy use and carbon emissions this generates is spectacular and largely unnecessary. Buildings in the West account for 40 to 50% of electricity usage, generating substantial emissions, and the rest of the world is catching up at a frightening rate. So, Short regards glass, steel, and air-conditioned skyscrapers as a symbol of status. There you go. Rather than practical ways of meeting our requirements. So people are putting air conditioners in their houses or whatever the buildings it is in order to show how rich they are. So link to the prestige. So you can see that the word prestige is a symbol of status. So yeah, should I actually put that number 15, maybe 15, and here I'm just gonna put number 18. All right. As for the answers. So now, Professor Alan Short examined the work of John Shaw Billings, who influenced the architectural something of hospitals to ensure they had good ventilation. All right, didn't find that yet. Short books. Short's book highlights the developing and sophisticated art and science of ventilating buildings through the 19th and the earlier 20th century, including the design of ingeniously ventilated hospitals. Of particular interest were those built to the designs of John Shaw Billings. So the designs, so architectural designs of hospitals. All right. Designs. Okay. So he calculated that something in the air coming from patients suffering. This is not from. This is from something would not have harmed other patients. We spent 3 years digitally modeling Billings' final designs. Okay, we put pathogens in the airstreams modeled for someone with tuberculosis, coughing in the wards, and we found the ventilation system in the room would have kept other patients safe from harm. Safe from harm. So he calculated that. He calculated what? He spent 3 years digitally modeling Billings. So in short, we put pathogens in the airstreams, microorganisms that can cause disease. Pathogens in the airstreams. In the airstreams is another way of saying air coming from. I mean, from air, of course, pathogens. So he calculated that pathogens. What did he calculate? He calculated pathogens that are coming from the airstreams. Airstream is another way of saying air coming. So like pathogens in the air coming from patients suffering from. What are they suffering from? For someone with tuberculosis, coughing in the words. So, all right. So model for someone with tuberculosis. All right, that is the another one. Pretty much, I will find a lot of answer here. Would have not have harmed other patients. He also found that the air in something in hospitals could change as often as in the modern operating theater. What is it? Coughing in the wards, and we found the ventilation system in the room would have kept other patients safe from harm. Okay. We discovered that. Is there anything in the D paragraph? How Short tested? He tested the circulation by spending 3 years digitally modeling buildings, and he put pathogens in the airstream. He put pathogens in the airstream, and that is the way how he calculated the disease or whatever it is. So 17 is gonna be D. That's a pretty easy one. All right. I didn't find 22 yet. We discovered that 19th century hospital wards could generate up to 24 air changes in an hour. That's similar to the performance of a modern operating theater, computer control operating theater. Okay. So he also found that the air in what? We discovered that 19th century hospital wards could generate an hour that's similar. So it's a words All right. In hospitals could change as often as in a modern operating theater, he suggests that energy use could be reduced by locating more patients in some areas. We believe that you could build words based on these principles now. All right. Single rooms are not appropriate for all patients. Communal words appropriate for certain patients, older people with dementia, for example, would work just as well as in today's hospitals at a fraction of energy cost or cost. It's not cost, cost. Paragraph E. Professor Short contends the mindset and skill sets behind these designs have been completely lost, lamenting the disappearance of expertly designed theaters, opera houses, and other buildings where up to half the volume of the building was given over to ensuring everyone got fresh air. Circulation, is it? Is it the one that is talking about 19th century buildings in modern standards? 19th century buildings were yeah, this is similar to the performance of a modern day. This is what is it talking about. So in paragraph E. So I think this is number 17, I guess. Right? So I'm gonna no, I mean 16. I'm sorry for that. Look, my numbering is horrible. All right, so 16 is gonna be E. So he suggested that energy costs could be reduced by locating more patients in some areas. Commuter was were appropriate for uh, for example, so energy cost would be reduced. So at a fraction of the energy cost, at a fraction of energy cost is another way of saying energy use could be reduced. So 23, that is a 23. So I think it's communal areas. Communal areas. A major reason for improving ventilation in the 19th century hospitals was the demand from the something for protection against bad air known as something else. Much of the ingenuity presented in the 19th century. By the way, if there's anything you can choose more than once. No, nothing there. Much of the ingenuity presented in the 19th century hospital and building design was driven by a panicked public clamoring for buildings that could protect against that what was known to be lethal threat of miasmas. A major reason for improved ventilation in 19th century hospitals was the demand from the public. So panicked public clamoring for buildings that could protect against miasmas. So as known as miasmas. Miasmas. I don't know what is that. Miasmas were feared as the principal agents of disease and epidemics for centuries, and were used to explain the spread of infection from the Middle Ages right through to the cholera outbreaks in London and Paris during the 1850s. These were blamed for the spread of disease for hundreds of years, including epidemics of cholera, or what I don't know that the different in Russian. All right, foul air rather than germs was believed to be the main driver of hospital fever, leading to disease and frequent death. The prosperous steered clear of hospitals, while miasma theory has been long since disproved. Short has, for the last 30 years, advocated a return to some of the building design principles produced in its wake. All right. Why some people avoided hospital in the 19th century? Why did they avoid? Of course, because of the miasmas, miasmas was feared as the principal agents of disease and epidemics for centuries. They panicked public clamoring for buildings that could protect. I don't know what is this. What is this clamoring? Okay, clamoring to that could protect against what was thought to be a lethal threat of miasmas. So paragraph F is giving us the answer for that. So anyway, yeah, there you go. We finished all. It was simple as that, guys. So what do you do in such cases? The thing is that you see the type of questions. You see you see matching paragraphs. I mean, matching features. I'm sorry, matching features. Another way of saying matching sentences. You find these sentences are written somewhere. I mean, this I would say another way. Just this is kind of a short question that you will have to find an answer for. But that question is written as like a question, but it's a statement. So like the so matching features is like you this is a question, kind of a question. That's not necessarily a question, kind of a question, and you find the answer in the passage. But however, when it comes to summer completion, you just really don't have to search all through. But the thing is that when you see all just summer completion, they come in order. Most of the times, you just see that the summer completion in this case is at the very last one. However, it's a really long one, right? But I think here there has to be a break between them. So this means that most of the times if you see 14, 15, 16, and for example, if question 19 to 22 was yes or no given, or true false not given, or maybe anything that is maybe classification sorts of questions, then the summary completion would come uh, from paragraph F, I believe. However, in our case, it started answering questions from paragraph D, which means you can see that one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, and eight. Eight questions were like there are eight questions in summary completion. Usually, you will not see such number of questions. I mean, yes, questions in the real exam. But anyways, it is really necessary to be aware of that in advance. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. It is. I guess it was kind of easy. If you have any questions, I'm not really gonna waste time to write this paraphrasing table I used to write in my prior videos. But yeah, yeah, if you have any questions, just make sure you can comment down below, and I'll come up with a very prompt response. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next episode. I'm gonna be coming by posting it, or I mean, uploading more videos in the coming days. Thank you very much.